right? You can say going somewhere. So when you first pick the call up, you say hello. You say, hey, this is Mike with whatever logistics, whatever dispatching company. Then you, are you under a load or looking for a load? The carrier is going to say, well, like I gave you a scenario. I'm currently under a load right now, man. So what are you, a broker? You say, no, I'm you know, XYZ dispatcher, XYZ logistics, however you want to term that.
Yeah.
Then you say, well, when you gonna be empty? You know, today is Monday, so when you gonna be empty? Well, I'll be empty on Wednesday. What equipment type do you have? You know, you want to get that out. What equipment type do you have? You say, well, I'm driving. You know, I got a dry van, a flatbed, or a reefer, or whatever equipment type they name, right? So they have, you know, you get the equipment type, and then you say, what are you looking for as far as cents per mile? You know, what is your rate? You know, what are you looking for cents per mile? And then, you know, they'll tell you, because if they tell you, so if they say I got a dry van, then it's assumed that it's like anywhere between $2 and $2.25 to $2.50 a mile. If it's a flatbed or reefer, it's about $2.75 to about $3 a mile starting out. Okay, so, and then once you get all that, because when you're conversating with them, you're getting the profile, you're getting a preliminary profile from them, right? Just in case you do get them under a dispatch agreement. So, okay.
Yes. I'm writing this down as we go, so I keep little notes.
Okay. So then, after you get that point, then you say, I'll be the driver. I'll say, okay, well, how much are you looking for? What is your normal cents per mile for your dry van or for your flatbed or for your reefer? Let's say it's a dry van. I say, I want $2.50 a mile. So if I tell you that, what would be your next?
Well, I wouldn't commit to giving him a price. I would more so tell him that it depends on the actual load and where it's going to.
Right. So I'm the driver, and I'm telling you, after you ask me, you say, well, what? I see you have a dry van. You told me you had a dry van. So, and you normally take about, what do you normally get per mile? What's your going rate to move that truck? And then I'm the driver. I'll say, well, I don't take no less than $2.50 per mile. So I'm telling you, the driver, I'm saying this is what I'm expecting. This is what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Then what would you say after that?
Oh, I would say that's not a problem. I can definitely find you a load with that going rate or better.
Good. And then you'll say, okay, so do you want me to, you know, if I can find you a going rate, that going rate or better, and if I find you a load, can I give you a call back at the email or the phone number that's provided? So you want to lead into trying to persuade them to say, yes, send me a dispatcher agreement. So you kind of want to lead into that. So it's more of a conversation now. It's not a script, right? So now you're conversating with them and you're pulling data from them, and, you know, like profile data. You know, you got their equipment type, you got their miles. Then you also might want to ask too, when you normally, or your flatbed or your reefer, when you normally pull your dry van or flatbed or reefer, how much weight do you normally pull? And they'll tell you like 40,000 pounds, 45,000 pounds, 38,000 pounds. So this helps you to cater your load search according to that profile. You won't find loads unless it meets that criteria. It doesn't go over that weight or within that weight.
Right.
So
I think I heard you say the same thing on another video, but I've been calling, well, I guess my luck, I've been getting new authorities. So every time I hit them with that question, they pretty much tell me, the authority's brand new. They haven't really done much, So, case
okay.
in
Well,
point,
then, with that being said, then you would have to know, even with a new authority, you would have to know for each equipment type what's the maximum weight. So with the drive-in and reefers, it's up to about 45,000 pounds, and with the flatbed, it's between 46 and 48. But you let them know that I would never try to get you a load at your maximum weight, because I understand that the heavier the truck, the more fuel it's going to burn, which means it's going to cost you more. So I'm trying to save you money. So I'm still going to find you good paying loads, but I'm going to find them, you know, at the weight that's less than your max. So you still get good paying loads, but not at max weight. So you
How
letting them
much?
know that
How much did you say the flatbed is?
the flatbeds are between 46 and 48,000 pounds.
46 and 48. Okay, so
Yeah,
dry vans.
the standard 48 to 53 foot flatbeds haul about 46 to 48,000 pounds, and then the drive-ins and reefers up
45.
between 42 and 45,000.
Okay.
So what else do you think you what else you think you might need in that conversation, you think?
Of course, it needs to become muscle memory. So I'm going to practice it till I get confident with it. Let's see, what else do I need? Okay, so let's say I'm hitting all the cues, right? And I get to the point they ask me what's it going to cost them, and I tell them, you know, let's say I stay 10%, and they say, oh, that's too high. I then go into,
right.
Well, okay, the way how it works is it wouldn't necessarily be coming off your portion. I would negotiate with the broker, all right, and pretty much give them the breakdown, give them an example, 10% of 3,000, and I would negotiate for 3,300, blah, 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 right? What if they then say, nah, that's still too much, right? Which I had that situation, and I was stumped. I didn't know what to say after that, like, oh, you know.
Well, even if 10%, so they said it's still too much, even after you explain to them that you're going to be essentially working for free for them.
Right.
You're taking it out the broker side. Now, you also got to add a little caveat to that. You got to say, okay, I'm going to try this all the time, but there are going to be times where I can't do it that way because the broker is going to be firm on their rates. I won't be able to add on top of it. So in those situations, I will always share with you that situation, and then you just decide, Mr. Carrier, if you can or cannot take that load, or if you want or do not want that load. So even if a carrier says, after you explain to them that you essentially are working for them for free, and they still say it's too much, I would consider, okay, I'll just end the conversation because that person didn't even realize the value that you're adding to them. So you're adding all this value and they still don't want the service. So it's like, okay, next, because there is a carrier out there that will see that value and say, yeah, man, you're basically just working for free for me. Yeah. So.
Got you. Okay. Okay. So that's what I didn't know. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to just hang up on a customer. So, you know, I'm
yeah, you just gradually phase out the conversation. You say, okay, sir, I appreciate you. I appreciate the time. I appreciate the call. You have a good day, or however you want to.
That's how to do it. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so pretty much that's basically what I wanted to do. Also, I actually scored a carrier this morning, and he has a reefer and a flatbed, right?
Okay.
I got him to send me over the packages. I'm a little bit concerned because when I checked, the only thing he didn't send me is that MC authority letter, right? But I could see his MC number, and I'm like, wow, I don't, you know.
Right. Then okay. So let's say he sent you everything, some of the stuff you need, but he didn't send it. So when you go book a load with a broker, the broker's going to need that anyway. So you're going to have to call that carrier and let them know, like, look, man, before I book a load, I'm going to need a copy of your MC authority letter.
Right. Right.
So.
Right. I'm going to follow up with him.
Probably. So he sent you the W-9, the certificate of insurance, but not the MC authority letter.
Exactly.
So, yeah, so I would do a follow-up email or phone call with him or both and let him know that, hey, I got your certificate of insurance, I got your W-9, but I don't have a copy of your MC authority. I'm going to need that when I'm booking loads with you from a broker because, as you know, brokers require this because they need to onboard you. They need to bring you on board with their brokerage, and one of the requirements is having a copy of your MC authority letter so they can verify that you are authorized to move freight. Now, did you see his MC? Did you see him on Safer?
Yes, that's where I got his number from.
So he's authorized. Is he authorized or not authorized? His operating status, is it authorized to move? Is it red or is it regular?
Um,
Let me share my. I'm sharing my screen, so let's look him up. Do you have the name of him, or do you have the number?
I can give you his name and his MC number, sure.
The name of the company,
1 second.
or the MC number, whichever one you have.
1 second. It's the MC number is.
Okay.
Where is it? Where is it? Okay, here's the MC number. MC number is 114
Okay.
7045.
All right. You see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it is Christopher Fogel.
Fogel, correct.
That name sounds familiar. I've seen that name before. Out of South Carolina. So he's one. So he just got his authority on November. He just got his authority.
Yep.
November 17th.
Yep. He's new.
So he's brand new and he has a flatbed and a reefer.
Yep.
So he's more willing to work with you. He just needs to send you the copy. He probably just overlooked it. So you just send him a friendly reminder, say, hey, before I get started. Because in our back office, we got those list of brokers that work with new carriers, right? So
yeah. So I'm definitely gonna have to go through that list, right?
Yeah. And then, look those brokers up, look their information up, and then give them a call, let them know, I got a carrier who's MC, who's based in South Carolina. He has a flatbed and a reefer. Do you have loads? What are your lanes? How can we work together? Stuff like that. But yeah, so he's good. His operating status is he's authorized to run property. He's a carrier, and he has two trucks, a reefer and a flatbed. So you can essentially, dispatch for him steadily. Making about what now? Do you charge a percentage for your service or a flat fee?
Well, I originally I'll be honest with you. I've only been doing this for maybe about a month and a half, right?
Okay.
So, in going off your information, I've been going off a percentage. It's
Okay.
only when you mentioned a flat fee, I was like, wait, whoa, that's another possibility. So, of course.
It is because when you start off new, you're not going to be booking loads real frequently because you're new and you're just as new as this carrier in this example. So you may not be booking loads. So it might be good to guarantee yourself some income. You say, okay, well, regardless of whether I book your load or not, my flat fee, because I'm still doing the work, so I still should be compensated at least for the effort, even though I don't find your load. So my flat fee could be anywhere between $250 to $350, $450, $500 a week.
Okay.
You get into the percentage when you start booking like loads more frequently. Let's say you start booking him for each truck, like 5 loads a week, 4 loads a week. Now you want to charge a percentage because you're getting paid per load. You see, so those are the two situations. The flat fee, starting off with new carriers because you're new, so you're not moving loads as frequently. So as you gain more experience and you bring on more carriers and you become more versed in it, you know how to do it more, you can start moving loads for those carriers quicker. Those are the ones you start to charge the percentages to. But starting out, you may want to consider at least a flat rate as opposed to a percentage. Just a consideration.
Right. Had I known that, I'd have done exactly that. I'd have followed your advice to the T, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, who's to say? Well, maybe not with this particular carrier. You may want it. It depends on how that person receives it. But going forward, you may want to change your structure to a flat fee. You could always, because it's your business, so you have that flexibility. This is your company. You're just using my platform, my portal as a go-between for tools and resources and ways to get training. But ultimately, it's your business, right? So how you structure your business model, your processes, your ways and means, that is up to you. It's in the best interest of your company.
So you recommend that starting out with, say, for example, this will be my first, it'll be my first carrier with 2 trucks, a reefer and a flatbed.
Right.
You would charge, but at one point, do you think I should switch over and start saying, okay, the percentage is going to be blah, blah, blah? Would that be after a certain amount of carriers, or after a few months of business with with a particular carrier? Like, at what point should I switch over based on your recommendation?
At the point where you feel comfortable, where you can move a high volume of loads for any carrier that you bring under your company, any new carrier that you feel, because you've learned it in the past, you've learned the process and the technique, you got it down, and you say, okay, with this next carrier, I'm going to charge a percentage as opposed to a flat fee. So
Okay. Okay, I got it.
yep. So yeah, so that's the concept. It takes practice. The cold calling concept takes practice. Do you have a what was I gonna say? Do you have a any truck stops in your area?
Um,
Like wherever you're located, I don't know where you're located. Your number, where are you located? What state?
well, I was telling you, I was right above you. I was in Richmond, right? But
Okay.
right now, at this point, I'm at this very point, I'm in New York now, but I'll be back in Richmond in another few days, right? But I stop frequently. I actually stopped. I want to say about 4 or 5 gas exits on the Jersey Turnpike, but the truck drivers wouldn't. You know, I tried to walk up to them, approach and talk to them face to face. They only one person was actually receptible to me, and they would actually
Right.
speak to me. But he
It depends on how you. Yeah, you probably had. Did you have a threatening approach when you came up on him or what?
He kind of gave me some hints. He was like, you know, your appearance, you know, and a lot of those drivers they get robbed, so they're on guard.
Okay. Okay. So if you had a business card or a flyer when you walked up on them, that kind of would have broke the ice a little bit.
Right.
You know, so
right.
for future reference, yeah, if you develop some flyers and business cards, letting them know, I'm an independent freight dispatcher, and I just want a minute of your time to talk to you for a minute. And then don't try to pitch to them like that. Just ask them with an open-ended question. Say, hey, I'm an independent dispatcher. If you were to consider getting a dispatcher, what are some of the qualities that you would look for in them? And then take that feedback and use it as leverage, for future reference,
Let me write that
That
down.
that way you're not pitching to them, but you're getting feedback from them because these are live carriers. This is what they do for a living. And then they'll say, yeah, well, if I had a dispatcher, I want them to always pick the phone up, find me good loads, communicate, be there when I need them, stuff like that. You're going to hear common answers, but that's how you break the ice. You ask them open-ended questions like, hey man, I'm an independent dispatcher. I don't want your service. I just want to ask you a question. If you, and you give them a flyer and a business card. If you were to consider getting a dispatcher, what are some of the things that you would look for in your dispatcher? And that's all I wanted to ask you. And I'll move on with my day. I don't want to. And then if they want you to be their dispatcher, if they want some more feedback from you, hey, what can you find me? What services do you provide? Or what? Now they're asking you the questions. You see what I'm saying? So you kind of flipped it. I've had that actually happen to me in Franklin, Virginia, at the Loves out there on 58. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but there's a Loves on 58 in Franklin, Virginia, between Franklin and Smithfield. I was over there at the Bojangles, the little chicken spot over there.
It's funny. I actually stopped there, and I asked the guy at the cash register, if I could leave my business cards. He said the only place I could leave my business cards, which I was offended when he told me. He was like, "Yo, in the bathroom, right over the urinals, is like these little plastic things that you could drop cards in."
Okay.
So I was like, man, I was kind of offended. But the funny thing is, I actually did it and got.
And that's a good spot because everybody's going there to take a dump, right, or pee or whatever, right?
Right over the urinal.
So they'll actually see it. Yeah, that's a good thing.
I actually got a call back.
There you go. So,
that was the funny part.
Yep. So what else you got for me? You good?
I've been okay. So in as it refers to actually finding loads, right? Like I said, I got the carrier this morning. He's fairly new. I've been already looking, right? He's telling me, first he told me he'll go anywhere in northeast and southeast. So I said, okay, pretty much the East Coast, fine. Right. But then after further conversation, he said, yeah, I don't want to go past Pennsylvania because I'm fairly new and I don't want to be driving everywhere yet. I just want to get, stay in like a small area, get that underneath my belt before I start venturing out. I said, okay, fine, no problem. Right.
Right.
But I've been watching your videos as far back as 2019. I was up till probably about 3 this morning watching those videos, and I try to pick a load that would make sense for them, right? Will make money for them, and then I'm factoring in, you know, mileage and gas and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, some of these loads is really not that good. And just to be sure, when they say deadhead, because I thought a deadhead means you drive the trailer head to go pick up, I guess, a trailer, and that's the load in that aspect.
Well, deadhead, whether okay, so if you got if you don't have a trailer and you just have a tractor and you're driving without a trailer to pick up a load, then that's called bobtailing. You're bobtailing because you don't have a trailer.
Okay.
Deadheading is driving with a trailer empty to a facility, to a shipper to pick a load up. So how far?
Got it.
So how far a person's willing, and it's usually the standard is about 100 miles max. A driver will go up to 100 miles deadhead in order to pick up a load. And it has to be a pretty good paying load if they're going to drive about 100 miles to pick it up.
Right.
Now, 50 or less is fine, but 100 miles, they'll be like, okay, it has to be a pretty good paying load for me to drive deadhead. And sometimes brokers will add extra fuel incentives, fuel surcharges into the rate in order to cover that deadhead too. So, you know, but you'll learn that later on down the line as you get more versed and more experience in doing it. You'll start asking those questions. Well, hey, Mr. Broker, this load is about 210 miles deadhead to pick up. You're charging this, but can we get an extra $200 or $300 to help cover the fuel for my driver can go pick that up? He'll say, okay, I can do that. I'll add that to the rate con and send you a new rate con for you to sign and then send it back. So you got a little wiggle because that broker wants that load filled and covered, and you're talking to them right now. They haven't found anyone all day. You call them all of a sudden. You have a bargaining chip now because you can easily turn it down and the broker be out back. But you can say, okay, yeah.
Based on that, has a broker, have you ever had a situation or the experience where you called up about a load and you tried to negotiate a different rate and they ask you why? Like, has that ever happened to you before?
Yes, several times. And I'll explain why. I'll tell them, and they start to see now that I'm familiar with lanes and everything. I'll say, well, the reason why I'm negotiating this rate because you're charging this rate, but the lane, the rate for the lane is this. This is the loaded miles. After you figure out the numbers, it's this amount. And then, you know, I go in further, and then you got so many stops with this load. You got so many stops, and each stop is going to cost a certain amount to maintain. So I can't do it at that rate. This is the rate that I'm quoting. And this is the rate that my driver wants. So you have to agree to that, or you just got to find another driver. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Because I had that experience, and I thought that wasn't supposed to happen. So I kind of got tight-lipped. Well, not even tight-lipped. I didn't know what to say when the broker asked me that. I thought like, okay, wow. I thought because as towards your videos, I thought, okay, hey, I'm interested in this load. I thought they were just going to answer the question, and hey, I'm trying to get such and such out of it. Blah blah blah. I didn't expect for them to say why. It was like, oh, wait. You know, I was kind of confused. I didn't know how to respond to that question. But now that you told me that's normal.
Yeah, it's normal. It's normal when they ask you that question. It's normal, but then you just continue from there. And then you got to know the lane. You got to know your numbers. You know the loaded miles times the cents per mile that you're trying to get for your carriers. You got to know that total. So when you hit them with that number and they ask you why, well, this is the reason why. I understand these are the rates. This is the standard rate for this lane. Your rate is below market average, below the market rate. I'm trying to get the rate up to the market average so we can be competitive. Otherwise, we're going to lose money by what you're charging. I understand you as a broker, you're trying to save money, but I also understand that this is the rate for that lane. You know, now you may not put it to them that way starting out, but at least you know you have an understanding and you know your numbers. So
I may have to do exactly that. You know, I'm not going to necessarily indicate to them that I'm new to the business. I hope they'll, you know, just have confidence in me as they would anyone else.
Correct. and you just let your experience do the talking for you. You let your, expertise and your knowledge do the talking for you. So.
Okay. Okay. So I am about to try to contact my carrier again and see if he could just remind him that he didn't send me that MC letter, and he's indicated to me that he wants a load for Wednesday. He wants to start on Wednesday. So
okay,
that's what I was about to do.
Alrighty.
You told me Internet Truck Stop is down, correct? It's still down?
Yeah, it's down, and I got to call to get an MC number from my one of my carriers that's on the platform, and use a different MC number to get it back up. Once I get it back up, I'll make an announcement. I need to make an announcement that it's down because people are still trying to access it. So I need to get that cleared up.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
One last question.
Yeah.
Being that he's very new, I'm gonna go through those 11 choices that we have that take new members.
Right. Well, actually, there's more.
Really?
So let's go back here, forms and documents, and scroll down here. So we got the PDFs for the brokers, new authorities, but then we got a Word document with, and then these right here. So there's 11 here. There's 11 here. Then there's a Word document with more. You got to download the Word document to your local computer, and then these right here, you can look them up to get their, like the Landstars, the Eppies, the Coyotes. Some of them overlap, but that's what they are.
Okay, good. Because I like 1, 2, 3 because I could put in the name of the brokers. So that,
exactly. I'm probably going to do most of my training on 1, 2, 3 because it has a lot of useful features, and it's user friendly.
Yeah, very,
yeah. So,
very. I'm not really. Let me not say I don't like Trucker's Path. I'm just it's
right.
It's
and
not
1,
as
2, 3
as 1, 2, 3.
And 1, 2, 3 is not a type of load board where it kicks other people out. Everybody can be logged into it. It seems.
Oh yeah, I got kicked out of
the Internet Truck Stop and DAT. Those are the ones that kick you out because of the login type. But 1, 2, 3 load board premium, everybody logs in. I have no one's called me and said I got kicked out of 1, 2, 3 load board. It's always DAT and Internet Truck Stop. So I may use that as a determining factor whether I'm going to actually keep those. Otherwise, I'll just let people know, well, to keep from getting kicked out, you may want to consider just getting your own subscription, using one of your carriers MC and getting your own subscription. Okay. They may not want to do that. And if they do that, I'll just cancel their monthly subscription with me. They won't have to pay me. They'll just pay their subscription.
Okay. Speaking of that, will I get a reminder before, because I know I signed up a few weeks ago. I don't know if it's been a month yet. Will I get a reminder before that monthly subscription?
Yeah. I'll send an invoice. I got the date of the initial enrollment, and in 1 month from that date, I already got it into the program where it generates the invoice automatically.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Great. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks, Charles. Anything else, I'll shoot you a text if you're available.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome.